So we live in a civilized society. We call prisons correctional facilities, and we don't really fire people, we let them go. See, these are euphemisms, morally correct ways of saying things as not to offend. But I can't pretend about my very first playground fight in the 3rd grade. See, she was in the 5th grade. But she could hit like she knew MMA, and she wanted to see if I knew Kung Fu, Taekwondo, and Karate. But she was awkward in her assault. Barely a blip in the business of bullying because all she could do is kick and punch. And fists alone, well, they just hit. But fists armed with brass-knuckled words go beyond bruising my being. See, my being took a beating when the principal scolded me for fighting. That despite her age and her size, he said it clearly wasn't fair. Funny in the lies in that it really wasn't about fighting at all, or that it was a girl. It was about the stereotypes that made me a target for every single kid who thought that my culture cultivated an identity bound up in being an unemotional, dog-eating, Jackie Chan sidekick that could answer every single question correctly because he had an abacus for a brain and a mouth that pronounced broken English that made rage sound like it was an apology. And despite the bumps and bruises, looking myself in the mirror revealed flaws I never knew existed. Exposed twisted blemishes proactive could not hide. They say when you break a mirror, it's 7 years bad luck. But when you break an image, it takes a lifetime to heal. I stayed trapped in the memory that had me hating everything that I was. Forever falling in an abyss of loneliness, of parachuted smiles, gravity, reminding me that I was less than others. Opening up in the confessed breaths in the bathroom that had me using razors to pick off the ugly brown potato skin that was me, in trying to discover the American dream inside. But see, those dreams continue to die when I heard about Luis Ramirez last year. See, Luis and his girlfriend were out one night when 4 high school football players decided to approach her and told him to go back to Mexico. Mr. Ramirez, I know that this happened in July and Independence Day was 2 weeks ago, so maybe you thought that they were exercising their freedom of speech. That when the founding fathers noted natural rights, they really didn't expect it to be applied to guys named Luis. Mr. Ramirez, I wish I could have warned you about the struggle to fit in and find a life in Pennsylvania. I wish I could have told you that there are some who don't like the fact that you work in a factory and you pick strawberries, and I know that you did it for 6 years. For 6 years. But you should have known that while green cards are time-stamped, brown anger doesn't have an expiration date. See, you should have seen it coming because these high school football players wore jackets with the name Devils on them. That instead of breathing fire, you should have ran when you smelled liquor on their breath. That equality doesn't mean it's going to be a one-on-one fight, that it's going to take 2 to hold you down and 1 steel-toed hit to kick your culture across the border. See, maybe you shouldered the burden of the American dream too much when the foaming left in your mouth spoke with a dialect that didn't pass customs. Maybe we all rely on the American dream too much because these boys were found not guilty of murder. The judge said that he shouldn't have been there in the first place. Maybe the mirror that I looked at as a kid still has those scars that we still refuse to acknowledge because, hey, we try to be a civilized society, so we use euphemisms. But I can't pretend that I still see in that mirror those scars that remind me of the very first time it was called